Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. We start our video with a story in which one a-hole boss was successfully eliminated with the help of our OP. And after that, a sign with the wonderful word appeared on his door. We'll tell you more after a short pause. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Partner with limited authority over management, playing from workers' dugout though. I'd recently partnered with a small production facility in my area. Our contract was based on capital investment along with designing/implementing new automation processes. 2-year outlook finished in 8 months. Was a typical small production facility comprised of 50 production workers through 2 shifts of 12 hours that ran 2 days on, then 3 days off. Also had 2 production supervisors for each shift and 1 maintenance supervisor for each shift. The people and their attitude is ultimately what led to my decision to be more than an outside contractor for this company until I worked the night shift for a week due to shutdowns that needed to occur to implement certain line upgrades. This is where I met him. We will call him Richard Head. Richard seemed like a nice guy in our first few encounters, and then I heard him in his element directing his maintenance crew at night over the radio. He would belittle this group of guys who were there to do a set task list every night for whatever machinery they were doing preventative maintenance on. Unless something broke on the line, which would require attention first, obviously. I've never heard grown men spoken to like this and never heard any nasty remarks back or defending themselves. He would call them stupid on the radio if they were having trouble troubleshooting a problem. Call some fat and lazy, called one black guy the N-word. The guy had been there since they opened the doors, and to be honest, made me want to rescind any commitment I've ever made to this company. When I escalated this up to the plant manager, he assured me that it was friendly banter and they rarely had complaints against him. True, because anyone who ever did so in confidence of anonymity was always outed and then singled out until they were terminated by him. Since no one was going to listen to me, I decided to do my due diligence and started to document everything I heard on the radio with a date/time, witnesses to the treatment, and what rights the individual was having violated due to our state and federal outlines. I made this spreadsheet my entire time in the shift, documenting every personal account I witnessed as well. Harassment is a major problem with industry work, but the one that I've learned is the company killer is retaliation. If you can prove that, then they stand no chance. I saw him one night tearing down this 50-year-old man who requested 2 days off to the point I wanted to lose my cool, but knew it'd ruin all the information I was gathering. Days off were because his nephew was just in a car accident 2 days prior and had to have multiple reconstructive surgery scheduled. I knew that now was the time to move on everything. I rounded up all the maintenance guys and shared all my documentation with them. They didn't realize the importance of this information like I had. They just said, nothing will change. Nothing changed because no one treats an issue as an issue if you come with incorrect, non-detailed information. The fact that he used the radio so much was a godsend that they didn't see as well. When he spoke this way to people, he must not have ever realized there are other supervisors on shift and that they, in fact, unintentionally became the strongest witness in the cases, especially when you have some audio recordings verifying the accounts. They have no choice but to acknowledge what they've heard. Each worker took their logs, and even though I have a capital/time investment in this facility, I urge them at a minimum to petition to have this man removed or threaten legal action. Once they coordinated a day to expose all this, it was like watching a sports movie when the underdogs take the championship and get the girl at the same time. Not only did the man finally get fired, but the entire atmosphere around the place changed more than I could imagine. Older machines ran the best they've ever run in my time there, and people loved coming to work again. They also put a placard on my door for when I came in about a week later. It said, "Number 1 boss." But the boss was crossed out, and hand engraved under it was the word "Bad A." I obviously removed it from my door, but I put it in my home office, and it's probably the best thing I've ever received from a facility. And our next story. ED tries to cut/rush through line, has to pay thousands. Short background. This happened like 3 years ago, so I don't remember every detail to 100%, and this whole story won't have much of actual conversation in it. It just sums everything up. The story happened on a train ride from my hometown, where my family lives, to the city of my own place, where I work, halfway across the country, roughly 350 kilometers or 220 miles, on a Sunday evening, since I was visiting my family over the weekend. And since it had a rather bad connection, I had to switch trains 3 times on every trip, and each trip took about 5 hours in total. My foot was injured/hurt, important later. I don't know why anymore, though. And I was in training at work, therefore I didn't earn that much. Also important later. Now to the details. It was starting to get winter, and as you would expect, the National Train Company was taken by it by surprise. As always, sigh. So many trains were late or completely canceled. I started my travel at 6 p.m. to theoretically arrive at roughly 11 p.m. at my desired arrival station. Then winter struck, and my first train got 10 minutes late on a 15-minute ride. This caused me to rush to the next train in pain because of my foot. As luck will have it, the connecting train either already left or never even came, so I had to wait an hour for the next one. This one also arrived at the next stop with a delay of 45 minutes, so I arrived there about 9:45 p.m. The last train to my destination was leaving at roughly 8:30 p.m. for that day. There was another at 10:30 p.m., but I only would have arrived the next morning at roughly 6 a.m. Since this was a very big train station in a big city, and the fact that the train company was forced to give me compensation for their failure to transport me, I stayed there instead of ending up in some small village station where I wouldn't be guaranteed to get a hotel or even get away from the train station, since I didn't have much money on me to pay a taxi, and the fact that those small stations usually don't have any personnel or ATMs. So I headed to the information counter where the story unfolded. Cast: me, he whose name shall not be told, ED, entitled Dad, TA, train station assistant, plus many more which won't get abbreviations. Let's go. So I come up to the desk and tell the lady my story and my demands per their company's policy/the law, them paying the night in their contracted hotel near the train station and changing my ticket from tied to certain trains to open so that I could get to my destination without having to purchase a new ticket. Pretty standard. While I was speaking to TA, ED and his 2 kids came up behind me. The kids didn't do anything, though. And even though there are clear signs and posters all around the info desks that tell people to exercise discretion and wait behind an indicated line, ED comes up crouching right beside me. It annoyed me, but I figured that I had a bad matchup against him with my foot if I confronted him. But then he started to slowly scurry towards me and slowly push me out of his way with his body weight and small steps. At that point, I had enough and pushed him away, and the following discussion ensued. Me: dude, what's wrong with you? Can't you read? The sign clearly states that you should stay back there. And pushing me away while I'm still talking is an a-hole move. ED: shut up. I have 2 small kids, and you were taking way too long anyway. They're tired, and we need to get a hotel room soon. You're young. You can walk to another hotel. Me: no, you shut up. I have exactly the same right to that hotel room as you, and I was here first. So get back in line and learn to behave like a normal adult. TA: sir, please step behind the line and stop bothering the passenger. We weren't finished yet. ED: shut up. I said we need a room fast. To me: and now get out of my way. Me: F off, a-hole. He kicks my legs away, causing me to fall hard on the granite floor with my elbow and now completely twisting my injured foot. TA: security! Please be reminded that 1 security guy, another TA, and 2 other passengers were standing right next to us on the second counter during the whole situation and saw everything. Facepalm. Well, the security guy grabs and fixes ED on the ground. ED's kids are crying and scared, as to be expected. And the 2 TAs tried to console them and called police, and the other passengers helped me as I was in severe pain and called an ambulance. The police took statements and identification from everyone and let everyone go, since they had no reason to arrest him immediately. Then the whole after story hit him full force. I had to stay the night and the next full day and night in the hospital for checks, and I was then let go on crutches. My ankle was sprained, but my elbow was fine. I only hit the funny bone. Since I still couldn't walk well enough, was in too much pain to take the train, I had to call a taxi to drive me the 200 kilometers or 125 miles to my own place. In hindsight, it would have been better to get back to my family, but, well, you're always smarter afterwards. My parents quickly sent me money for it via PayPal after they heard the story and my plans. So I didn't have to go to work for a month, since that job required me to stand and walk all day and had time to get a lawyer. My parents lent me the money for it since I could have never afforded the lawyer and sue the guy in civil court. I didn't try criminal court since it wouldn't have brought any personal gain for me. In the end, the judge granted me a damage pay of roughly 400 euros for the pain and another half of my month's pay for financial loss, and because the guy behaved like a D-head in court, insulting me and the judge, lying, screaming, etc. And of course, ED had to pay his and my lawyer costs and the court costs, as is standard. The thing is, I didn't even have a high financial loss since my employer still had to pay my salary while I couldn't work. I just had to order enough food for the next weeks, since I couldn't go grocery shopping that well. ED felt like this was unfair and appealed. Well, let's just say the next judge upped the damage pay by roughly 100 euros because ED still behaved like a D-head. He didn't try a next round. So to sum it up, he most likely lost 4 lawsuits, 2 against me, 1 against my health insurance, 1 against my employer, had to pay damage pay, 500 euros, roughly half my salary for financial loss, 500 euros, my taxi bill for the ride home, special long-distance taxi, so more expensive, plus the driver's ride back in the original city, his operation zone, 850 euros, my lawyer costs, 3,000 euros, court costs also easily a few hundred, his own lawyer, most likely not cheaper than mine, probably all my hospital bills, the crutches, painkillers, etc., my actual salary, and all the lawyer and court costs for those lawsuits. I said probably for the medical and salary payments because I don't know if they sued or if everything was paid by his insurance, which is highly likely, and that just his premium had gotten higher. So yeah, I alone got roughly 5,000 euros from him, plus all the rest that he/his insurance had to pay. At least karma did her magic and you got compensated. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.